Hi, my name is Annie Yalawe Palmer, or Soda to my brothers. I'm one of 6 and the only girl brought up in Northern Ireland in County Armagh. I am the author of For the Love of a Mother, The Black Children of Ulster, which was recently nominated for a Black Award for Best Writer. I'm also a qualified social worker specialising in child protection. My late father was Nigerian and my late mother Northern Irish. I was born in Liverpool, where they met and married. I was taken by my mother to Ireland at the age of 4 when my parents separated. My father, who I barely knew, died when I was 6. My mother died in 2008. Growing up in Ireland in the 60s and at the height of the Troubles was very challenging. This was made worse, not having a father to protect me from those who harmed me. Like many others, stricken with poverty and living in that misery and violence, my mother self-medicated on alcohol. This meant that my mother was absent a lot and I was left to fend for myself. When I say absent, I mean on the whole emotionally through alcohol rather than physically. Back then, apart from my own family, there were few other people who looked like me. My memories are of constant personal violation. I was brought up with the words of others ringing in my ears on a daily basis. You are different from us. No shit, Sherlock. She can't help the way she was born. Neither can you. She was born that way because she was left in the oven too long. Okay, the less said about that one. When people ask if I remember the first time I was racially abused, I don't remember a day without some form of abuse for over 20 years of my time there. Although some of those we grew up with said they loved us, including my own mother, I had difficulty believing them. Mainly because I was regularly the target of their cruel abuse. At primary school age, some shopkeepers would make me set my money on the counter, as they didn't want to touch my hands. People assume because you're young, you don't understand this racist act, but I did. I felt sad, rejected, and angry. I felt like I was completely surrounded by people who meant me no good. Unpredictable people who smiled at me one minute and crushed me the next. My mother and her partner regularly called me the N-word, and they were racially abusive consistently. My mother especially when she was drunk. I would say we had a turbulent relationship. As a grown, educated woman, I have worked out some things about my mother. She was from a long line of broken people. Her father was in a world war. Nobody knows but him what he did or what he saw. Post-traumatic stress disorder was not recognized then. I'm sure he was desensitized to acts of violence and numb to human suffering and emotionally absent. Then, having experienced the Troubles, he would have been further desensitized in this way. How could you not be if you killed your neighbors, people who look like you? This all happening without healing, generation after generation. How could my mother not learn the same behaviors? The killing is still happening. Toyosi Shitabi, 2010. The abuse is still happening. Northern Ireland dubbed by the media as the race hate capital of Europe. the post-traumatic stress is still affecting the older generation and now multiplying in the younger generation, with the highest prevalence of mental illness in the UK and still no healing. As a child growing up in Ireland, I was always so tired of violence, tired of people telling me I was different, tired of people treating me poorly, and tired of existing. What concerns me is that many young men and women of Ireland are still being traumatically affected from infancy over 35 years since my departure. Young people who look like me. I firmly believe that racism is learned behavior taught initially in the home. This is done through a process I call racophilia. As a survivor of indoctrination and a social worker, I can categorically inform you, learned behavior can be unlearned, and I am living proof. I too was once taught to hate. I was taught as a Protestant to hate Catholics. I was taught to hate the colour of my own skin, and I was taught to deny all of this. I was taught to deny my hate of others and to deny their hate of me. For many, running away is not the answer or an option, but without emotional support back then, it was the only option for me. In my case, it was live or die, and I chose to live. I wrote my book, which helped me to begin to heal. I understand that in order to heal, rather than exist in denial, you have to confront your reality and begin to live. I've spent many years raising the profile of Black people in Ireland. I have done so through my book, my own dedicated clothing range, my social media platforms, and many media interviews. My hopes are that I will have been successful in planting a seed for positive and substantial change, in order that one key person will begin to think, speak, and act differently in relation to the human race in all its diversity. I'm willing to work with those who seriously want to make this change, those who want to break this cycle of abuse, and those who want to heal. So, let's kick racism in the teeth. Thank you.